Wow.
Wow, this is some really deep stuff.
I don't know what just happened, but something happened inside of me. Something snapped, something.
I wasn't expecting that either.
Sorry.
It's okay. It's all right. It's beautiful.
Monster is like really small, but it had to become that to stop me.
And then the hurt child became present when you mentioned it.
And I didn't realize this until now.
There were things that I didn't remember until now.
It's funny. I haven't seen that before.
It feels like I'm the monster. I'm kind of seeing images of things. Of a world where they can exist. This clarity brings all kinds of answers.
It's clear. She hugged me and then went back to her place, I guess, in my heart. Oh, it wants to come out. It wants to bippity boppity boop Cinderella me. She's melted into my chest. It's ooey gooey.
All week been finishing things, cleaning up more, started eating vegetables again last week. And it kind of just started happening. It's almost like I just finished going through a meditation session.
I feel light. When you hit that first joint, in the morning, and
I actually feel a lot more awake.
Yeah, how are you feeling right now? Just in the sense of being here, meeting me for the first time, doing something on video and audio, although of course the video is not being shown.
Yeah, no. I'm excited. I'm excited because I've been doing IFS, but only with James prior. That's been just my experience. So I'm excited to see kind of just open to any new process. Just curious, I guess.
Excellent.
That's a good word.
Open and curious is such a great place to start.
Yeah.
And I think I should speak for a few, let's see. Let me see if I have any parts to speak for too. I think, it's important for us all just to bring everything to the table.
Yeah.
The first time I've done something live recorded that might be public. And so I noticed there's a part of me that's there's a little bit of excitement about that, just energy around that. So, just going to be with that part for a second and help it to relax a little bit. Okay, now I feel a little bit more here.
That's wonderful. You can take all the time you need if you need to.
You are so kind. I totally appreciate that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think at this point we just want to connect and see how things are. It sounds like you're feeling pretty present at this moment.
Yeah. I was I was just kind of grounding and kind of meditating, just before this phone call. So I feel like I'm in a good headspace. Yeah.
Oh, excellent. Yeah. Perfect. Yeah. So do you have anything that feels like any parts of you that feel like they need help or anything that's going on that you'd like to bring right now?
So I would say the part that's coming out the most is, so I'm currently in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Recently have been given the opportunity to move to Charlotte, North Carolina. So I'm taking that opportunity. Just a really good job. My best friend lives up there. I've been in Florida my whole life, so I'm ready for a change. So it's something that's been kind of in the works for a while. I've been wanting to leave Florida, but never really had the courage to until recently. And since I made this decision, and it's only been about 1 to 2 weeks, maybe 2 weeks of, thinking about it, 1 week of really making that decision, resigning at my current job and all of that, I have had just this center of my chest anxiety that's just been I've been carrying it around everywhere I go. And it's like front and center, just unwavering, doesn't shake. And I'm like, I should be excited about this. And maybe I'm like, excitement is maybe translating to anxiety, but it feels more like negative or panic a little bit. And, and aside from that, there's other things happening that I'm sure are contributing. Like I'm in a romantic relationship right now that's a little bit rocky. And that's, I'm sure, contributing to the anxiety. But it's really, I think there's a part that's trying to tell me something, with those feelings of like panic, anxiety around the situation. So, yeah.
So yeah, hearing these feelings that you're calling anxiety, panic, that are coming up in your chest, and some feelings about that. Sounds like a part that is wanting to figure it out. How it might be the relationship, might be the move, but there's something there.
Yeah.
Part of me that's observing and wondering about it. Absolutely and totally. Like, of course, it's wondering. And appreciative of that part for just bringing it to your attention and saying, hey, this is a great thing. This is a great thing to be wondering about, right?
Yeah.
And, I also noticed there's a part that you mentioned. It's like, oh, I should be excited about this. What's happening?
Yeah.
So, so a little, so just noticing those three parts there. Yeah. How are you feeling, and how does it feel just to notice and name those three parts in you?
I didn't realize that the part that's like, we're supposed to be excited about this is a part. Like, I didn't even realize that was another part coming up. So it's like an awe moment with hearing you say that. Yeah.
Yeah. All these parts just coming up around this feeling and doing their job, what they do when feelings come up and when situations come up.
Yeah.
So makes you wonder, are there any of these parts that you feel like you'd like to get to know, or you feeling,
I think definitely I'd like to explore the anxiety part regarding just the move and relationship part. I don't know. It's kind of, I think I have to get to know it a little bit better to understand where it's coming from.
Yeah. So cool. I love that. So just let's honor that curiosity. And just want to see if you can focus your attention on that part that feels anxious in your chest. As much as you can feel comfortable focusing on it right now, paying attention to it.
Yeah, it's definitely like in nearer to the front of my chest, kind of like diffused. It feels like a pressure, like a hard to breathe kind of anxiety. And it's very consistent. So, and I've been noticing that these days, that it just kind of sits there and it just stays there. It doesn't move despite what relaxation measures I try to take or things like that.
So you're getting a sense of clarity certainly coming into focus there. As you pay attention to it, how do you find yourself feeling towards it?
I am curious.
So just honor that curiosity, feel that curiosity. See if you can allow that part to feel that you're actually curious about it. From that place of curiosity, just ask it, is there anything you'd like me to know about?
So in asking that, it does, it seems kind of like confused that I'm addressing it or trying to address it. It seems to like I don't think that it practices using its voice very often. And so it took a little bit to get the words out, but I like from what I could understand or make out about the feeling or sensation is that it just doesn't, like, it's confusion. It's like it doesn't know if this is going to work out. Yeah.
Yeah, is there more?
It feels like a younger part. It doesn't like feeling this way. Let me see if I can get any more information.
You don't have to dig or force anything. I'm just saying if there's, you want to feel free to share anything that it has or wants you to know.
Yeah, it just feels like a little lost, like a little bit of a lost, like a lost child, like a lost sensation.
How are you feeling towards that lost childhood?
I definitely want to help her.
Does she know that about you? Do you want to help her?
Let me let her know. It's like it's open to allowing me to help. It's confused that I want to help. It just seems like estranged or foreign to being addressed, to being helped.
It's not used to this.
No.
Yeah, so like I would just want to honor it for its courage. Here with you, you mentioned it's not even used to using its voice.
Yeah.
It's not asked, about itself. It's been invited and it really stepped up.
Yeah.
How are you feeling towards it right now?
I think it's super brave. I think you're right. I think I think it's an awesome part for making itself known, even though it can't communicate exactly why.
How does she seem to be receiving that?
She's grateful, and she's just like she's like, I'm a mess though. Like I'm a mess. So, it doesn't she's grateful, but she thinks that she's a mess.
Yeah. Yeah, you can let her know that it's quite all right. We're here to help her out.
Okay.
There's always a good reason for a mess being there. We can totally inquire into that and then be of help to her. She seemed to be kind of confused, and let me know if I'm wrong about this, but she seemed to be confused about why you're here, why you would even want to help her. Am I
Yeah.
yeah. Do you feel like you might be able to address that for her in terms of why you might want to be helpful to her?
Yeah. So I let her know that she's part of the family and she's important. And you could tell that she's like softening. Yeah.
We can ask her, does she feel comfortable with you enough to share a little bit more about the mess that she's describing?
If it's very, very clear now that she feels like she doesn't know herself enough to undergo these changes. Like she feels like she doesn't know if, if she should come along for the ride, if she should be moving, if the relationship's right for her. Like she feels like she doesn't know like up from down, and that it's too big of a decision for her to be making to just say like, hey, I'm going to move and I'm going to move states and I'm going to, make these big life changes when she's still kind of figuring her stuff out.
Does that make sense to you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
100%.
Oh, yeah. So you let her really feel that you get that. You totally understand.
She feels very relieved. I told that I completely understand that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Can you ask her, is this a feeling that she has ever had before in the past? Or is there something about this feeling that feels familiar at all?
So to my understanding, she's communicating that because I've always been relatively in the same place, the same lifestyle, that I'm in a place of familiarity, and quite usually like in control in my relationship, not like controlling, but like, it's not so rocky and unpredictable. And like, I generally choose good partners, that it hasn't really come up quite this way.
Yeah.
Like it's been like a safety net for a lot of, I guess, our lives together.
So she's usually in control. Would I be right in saying that there's something that she feels afraid of?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. If she feels comfortable just sharing with you what she's afraid might happen with this move.
Okay. And she's afraid of just like uprooting, and the word failure comes to mind. Comes to mind very like boldly and like bold letters almost. That I guess there's a fear of failure.
But failure seems like a big fear, a really prominent fear in some way.
Yeah. Very focused on preventing, like a preventative part. trying to prevent fears from coming through, failure from happening.
Ask her, is that kind of her role in your system to help prevent bad things from happening, like failure?
Oh, sorry. Did you ask if that's normal?
Oh, yeah. Let me ask again. Does that seem to be her role in your system to kind of prevent bad things from happening? Prevent failure?
I think she feels like now her role is that, because I think that she's been generally coasting on the stability and the predictability. And now it feels as though she's taking on a form of like prevention.
Yeah. So there's change coming now, and she's like, somebody's got to prevent something bad from happening. I guess that's me.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you feel about her taking on that role?
I feel like that's very courageous of her to try to step up. She's a young part.
Mm-hmm.
I'm grateful that she, she cares to that extent. I don't want her straining herself on trying to do that. I can understand why she's doing that, though.
She responding to when you say that, when you express that.
She feels, just validated.
So she has this fear, and she has this thing that she's trying to protect from happening. I'm wondering, that sense of failure, or the failure that she predicts might happen, is that something that she's ever, or you've ever experienced before? Failure in the way that she's imagining it, or that feeling of failure. I can ask that in a different way if you'd like.
Sure. It just sounds a little fuzzy. I'm going to see if it's pretty. Okay.
Oh, okay, cool. Thank you.
Sorry.
Yeah, to ask in a different way, I wonder, because she's taking a protective role here. And I'm wondering if she's protecting a part of you that might feel pain from failure. It might be really sensitive to what might happen with failure and the feeling of failure.
Let me open that up to her. I'm not sure. There might be. I'm not 100% sure. I feel like a lot of the anxiety is coming from her, but when I ask her why she's, so focused on prevention, and I think she's unclear about it. So she might be, but I don't think that she's aware of who she's protecting.
I get it. Yeah. Okay. I think we can help her with that. So when we mentioned what she's afraid of, this big, like almost bold letters, failure came up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering if she's able to show you what failure, she showed you what it looks like in the sense of like what it looks like in words.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a feeling that goes with that failure?
Okay. I think the scenario that causes her the most anxiety is me going over there, like hating my new job, feeling like I left for no reason. You know, my relationship falling apart while I'm there, resulting in me being lonely. I think that's what she considers to be failure.
Mm, wow. That can be hard to talk about. I just want to show appreciation to that guy for going there, spelling out what this failure means to her.
Yeah.
Are there, if hypothetically that were to happen, is there a feeling that she would have or feelings that she would have? She doesn't have to like necessarily name them in feeling words, but she might just show you in the sense of, oh, it would feel like this. And she might give you that feeling in your body.
I think she would feel like kind of like a fool for like believing that it might come through, for having hope. Like a loss, loss of faith, you know, depression, like loss of like trust in herself and me. Yeah.
So complete loss of faith, depression sounds like a pretty like hopeless, helpless place.
Yeah. And that's exactly it.
Does it make sense that it would be scary to kind of face that feeling and face that sense of failure? To actually go through a possibility and know the possibility, the possible outcome is that, oh, you could end up feeling like that.
Yeah.
She was really protecting you from something important, something that would actually feel like a really awful situation.
Yeah.
Now, I wonder if you could ask her, maybe you'd ask you, has any part of you ever felt that way before?
Okay. I think it feels a little bit of that with the current relationship I'm in, like a hopelessness, a little bit of it, like a tinge of it.
So feeling that a little bit in your relationship.
Yeah.
Can you ask her, is that the feeling that she wants help with? I'm wondering, that hopeless feeling is a really severe one.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's something that brings her to get really anxious about having to feel that again or having to go to that place again. When I say again, almost like a presumption, I figure if she knows what that feels like, that, oh, there must be a place inside of you that's felt that way before.
Mm.
Because that's not a feeling that you come up with having never felt that way in the past.
Yeah. Hmm. I would say as a younger part too, I know that like throughout uh, you know, our childhood together, there's been that feeling of uh, just not having like to dissociate from situations, not feeling alive, and that hopelessness also. So, at hearing you mention that, that is something that comes to mind. Uh, I'm sure she's experienced and doesn't want to go back to that.
Yeah. And that's totally, totally understandable.
Yeah.
My understanding here is that she's showing you, oh, this is what failure feels like for her. And failure is associated with this unbearable feeling.
Yeah.
And what I'm wondering if we could help to heal any part of you that carries that feeling, then failure, even if it's this kind of failure that, even if the move didn't work out, for example, or the relationship didn't work out, if you didn't have to worry about it feeling like that, feeling that intensity of pain that is felt from the past, then would this part have to work so hard to protect you? Making this move, would it feel a little bit, it may still say, hey, watch out, be careful, but it doesn't have to be to the point where it's working quite as hard as it is.
Yeah. That's very valid. I didn't see it like that before. Yeah.
But can you ask it if there is any part of you that carries that feeling of hopelessness, helplessness? Would it like us to go towards that part? This part doesn't necessarily have to go there if it's a situation. They can step back and allow you to care for the part that feels that way. But yeah, if we could help heal that sense of hopelessness, that sense of lostness and helplessness. And perhaps this part wouldn't have to work as hard. Let's see how this part feels about that.
Okay. Yeah, it's definitely all for it. Like it's very. I think that's the beauty of it being preventative. It's like I'm all for it. That's to feel better. Yeah.
Yeah, we're definitely on the same side here.
Yeah.
Same thing. We want relief from that. Relief from that particular type of suffering. So can you ask it, is it just able to point the way towards the part of you that, hey, it might be a part that's stuck in the past, it might not know anything about it, but if you could just point the direction towards the part of you that does carry that feeling.
Okay. There's a part coming up in my throat, like a sensation in my throat. It's moved from my chest, so that part's, I guess, pointed or left me and now introduced a different part that's in my throat. It feels like almost like my throat shutting or closing, like a very occlusive kind of energy.
Is it okay if we hang out here with this part for a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay. If you let me know if it feels too much and I can help you out with that, okay?
Okay. Thank you.
Absolutely. So right now, just being with this part, how do you notice yourself feeling towards it?
I am curious. Yeah.
So see if you can allow that part to just feel some of your curiosity.
Okay.
When you see it, you're open to it, you're curious.
think it's open. It feels like a part that's like grieving.
Mm.
It feels like a very like gray or wallowing kind of energy. And it's centering, it's still in my throat. But it is open to having me here.
Mm. So you should thank it for at least trusting you enough to be here with it.
Yeah.
How are you feeling towards it right now? The openness of the being.
I'm happy that I've come across this part so that it's not alone in how it's feeling.
Mm-hmm. Does it hear you saying that? Are you feeling that?
Yeah. Yeah. Now it does.
So you're actually happy to find that. It's a beautiful feeling. Particularly take that in. Wonder, you can let this part know that you're curious.
Mm-hmm.
And if it would like, it can show you exactly where this feeling came from or how it got there. If it would like.
Okay. It feels like it's mourning like different pieces of, I guess, like just my childhood. Um I think my dad especially. And I don't mind sharing any backstory. My dad was arrested when I was 10
Mm.
and just like deported, and I never saw him again. And so even me myself as the adult now, like I feel tears coming up that I feel from this part that's also grieving that.
Are grieving alongside this part.
Yeah.
So this part can feel that it's not alone in there.
Yes. Yeah. That's true. It does feel very caught up in the grieving. Like very, very caught up in it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to just, kind of be with it.
Yeah, grieving is a kind of, it's a caught up experience.
Yeah.
Grieving is also something that I don't think human beings were really evolved to do alone. We've always done it in community.
Yeah.
Really beautiful that you're being there supporting that part. That's that part's grieving. You can allow it to feel what it feels. You can allow it if it has any particular questions for you, things that make the grieving difficult for them. They can share that with you as well.
Yeah.
Part of this experience is it's really difficult for this part that it needs help with. And I'm happy to support it.
Like it feels like this part's trying to just let me know just through the sensations that it like never fully got over like that loneliness it felt like it had to kind of just like bulldoze through it and just kind of like I mentioned before, like just kind of like to separate from it, dissociate, and just kind of function regardless.
Mm.
Or rather, maybe that the rest of my parts or me did, but that it's still grieving.
Mm. So yeah, what I'm hearing is that there's kind of a bulldozing through the feeling sort of experience and not getting a chance to really feel or complete this.
Yeah.
It's grieving this process of just emotionally letting go or emotionally coming to acceptance.
I think that the failure, that fear of failure, just comes from just that fear of just like things falling apart again. Just the loss of routine again, as it once happened. Yeah.
When your father was deported, there was a loss of routine, there was a loss of direction, and that's what this part fears. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah, like a clear, like a falling apart of the family life at that point. It's, I think, fearful of just my falling apart at this point.
Mm. So I understand this part is a young girl, and you're here as the person that you are with all of the experiences that you've had, all the ways that you've grown since then. And yeah, just a sense of connection with your core that at least I can sense in you and appreciate.
Yeah.
So I wonder if you were to go there, like step into the past with this girl and be there for her the way that you really needed someone to be there for you at that time. I wonder how that would feel.
Let me try. Yeah, and I'm thinking back to the aftermath after he had, gone away, and I feel like she needed, just in observing what she was going through. I think that she just needed someone to let her know that she wasn't, like that life could go on, that she wasn't, kind of, I guess, yeah, like walking her through just the experience of how to rebuild yourself in in a way that doesn't involve having, needing everything to be always stable and being afraid to take risks. And, because I think that's how she learned how to rebuild herself, was just being very stable and steady and not taking any risks. Yeah.
I can see how a part would find this taking a risk very, very difficult.
Yeah.
It's a really insightful connection for you to make.
Yeah. Thank you.
How's this young grieving girl doing now?
Like she was kind of like crying, huddled in a ball. She's maybe like emotional age of maybe like she was emotional. She seemed like she was like 4. And even though this happened to me when I was 10,
Mm.
And now I've gotten her to walk through like memory with me. So she's standing up right now, and maybe up to age 6 now.
So you can check with her, see if you can feel her intuit, or even ask her, is there anything that she feels like she needs from you in this past scene? Nothing more, because she has the option of leaving this past scene with you. She doesn't have to stay in the past forever. Totally up to her.
It's asking me for a form of closure about the situation. Trying to clarify what she needs exactly.
And ask her if something feels incomplete there.
It just wants to know if it did poorly in what like she learned, how she learned to get by.
How would you like to respond to her?
I think she did great. I think she did excellent. I think she did what many people and many kids would do. Yeah.
You mind if I add to that?
Of course.
Part of what she did is what helped you to survive up to this very moment. And you are living proof that she did very well at what she did. She did exactly what her job was to do, which was to help you to survive.
Thank you. It's wonderful.
She had to be pretty brilliant in order to do that. She had her own internal wisdom that I had to know. And she has you.
And now she feels ready to go.
So you let her know that you can take her and she can go with you wherever she'd like to go. Recommend just taking you to a place where she feels more safe and more comfortable, where she can feel at home with you. She might feel connected with you, or be able to connect with you some more.
Like I have just like a safe space in my mind that I've created for me as an adult. And it's just like like by a river. It's like a beautiful place in nature. There's like a big tree that I sit under and things like that. I just meditate there. And she's like, I want to go there with you.
Aww.
Yeah.
Yeah, why don't you take her there, see if she likes it, see how she feels there.
Yeah, she's like clinging to my side, like she doesn't want to leave my side. In much better states than when I found her.
see. Could you ask her? So there's two things I'm curious about. I'll ask both of them, and just you can just answer whatever resonates with you the most. So I know that you mentioned her clinging to your side.
Mm-hmm.
It makes me wonder: is it just that she's close to you, or is there something that she's afraid of?
I think she's still afraid.
Hmm.
Like I sense that she's still afraid of feeling that loneliness. Um, yeah, just afraid of feeling like she isn't seen anymore.
Hmm.
Yeah, just yeah, that feeling of abandonment. She doesn't want to feel that again.
Hmm. Do you have a sense of how you'd like to respond to her and respond to that fear?
I would say that I want her to know that I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. Um, we're forever together. Um, and I'd like to know what she needs to help her overcome this fear of abandonment.
Hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Does she respond to you?
I think like she feels like whenever I deviate from the stability or take any risks, like she's afraid of that causing abandonment of her.
Hmm. Well, it seems pretty clear she knows who you are. Is that right?
Yeah.
Does she know that she exists within you? And that it would be impossible, literally impossible for her to exist apart from you?
Let me let her know. I let her know that we are like the same soul, the same, different versions of the same person. And that no matter what risk I decide to take in life, that she's going to be a part of it.
Hmm. Sure.
And I feel like she's accepted that and she wants to sit on that. Like she wants to process that.
Hmm.
Like it's a whole new perspective for her that she's never thought about.
Yeah, yeah. I can get it. She felt alone for a really long time.
Yeah.
I want to ask her, is there anything while she's here, other than this conversation, which she's free to access you and talk to you whenever, if it feels right to you, whenever she needs. But also wondering, is there anything that she'd like to do with you while she's there in this space?
Yeah. It just wants to, like a child would, that they want to go to like the river and like collect rocks and like walk with their shoes off in the river and like just like explore a little bit.
Wonderful. How does that sound to you? Would you like to do that with her?
Yeah, and I find it interesting too because it's a part that initially was afraid to explore, or afraid of risk, or afraid of, you know. So that's nice.
Yeah. Noticing shifts happening.
Yeah.
See what that feels like for her and for you to do that together.
Yeah, it feels great. Feels nice. It feels like I'm, you know, I'm like the parent.
Yeah, it is like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You can ask her, is there anything more that you'd like to do?
She's a very like practical young girl. When I let her know, I'm like, you know, you don't have to think small. You don't have to think small here, because she was thinking, she's like, what else can I do in these woods? And I'm like, you don't have to think small. You can go and do whatever you want. And she's like, okay, I want ice cream, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that's just the product of just, you know, dealing with what she dealt with, that she tends to just think of what's, you know, the immediately most available thing to survive, or, you know, very kind of limits herself to not risk upsetting the balance more. Yes, I got her strawberry ice cream.
I'm just thinking how grateful she is that you're showing her just that freedom of thought. You know, to ask, hey, not only what's, you know, okay, what's immediately here, but hey, what do I want?
Yeah.
How does it feel for her to go with you to get that ice cream and just to take it in?
She's very happy. She's much, much happier.
Does it feel good to you as well?
Yeah. Like, I realize I need to, I think, really spend more time with this part and really allow her to explore safely. You know, having a resourced adult help her through just growing up, you know, and living life. I think after that happened with my dad, my mom was like unavailable. Um, you know, she had to do it all herself and just thought small the whole time.
Mm. You seem really deeply understanding of this whole experience.
Yeah.
How it impacted you.
This is very, very helpful.
Wow. I'm really glad. Yeah, it's one thing we often ask parts to be retrieved from the past and brought to the present. Ask them to look around at themselves. You know, they can check to see if there's anything in or around their body that they feel like they're still holding on to from that past experience that they were stuck in.
Mm.
might be a feeling or an unproductive belief about themselves or about the world. Anything they want your help letting go of because it doesn't really belong to them.
Let me see if I can access that with her. I feel like she's relatively like inexperienced. She wasn't really taught a lot as a child by her parents or modeled anything good. So I feel like I think her belief is just like don't make things worse. Don't shake the don't like cause a shake in the room. Don't she has a firm belief in like her staying muted and just not messing things up, I guess. Like that was, I think, just her survival mechanism.
Yeah. So her survival mechanism that she learned just was kind of conditioned into her. Is don't mess it up, don't rock the boat, don't do anything unexpected that might just mess with the order of things.
Yeah.
Does she feel like she's ready to let that go now?
Yeah. She has some sadness related to it because it's like that was like that was her childhood, like that's what she got, kind of thing. But I think she is open to something new.
Yeah. And I guess from this point of view, it seems totally understandable. It's like, oh, that was her life raft.
Yeah.
And it really got her a long way. And I can also see her, not wanting to have to hold on to that anymore.
Yeah.
So if she feels ready to let that go, she can let go of as much of it as she wants. She can let go of the whole thing if she wants to. We don't want to push her past where she's comfortable.
Okay.
What would she like to give that up to? Usually when we give up things in this kind of ceremonial way of giving up that sort of belief and pattern, we often either give it up to, give it up to the place where we got it from. If there's an example that was set, we can give it back to that person. We can also give it up to one of the elements: earth, wind, water, fire, light, darkness, or anything else. Does she have a sense of what she would like to give that up to and how she would like to give that away?
It's so funny. She wants to put it like in a box and wrap it up and send it back to my mom. She wants to like put a little step stool in the post office box that just magically appeared in my field. Just like put it in there. Just wants to ship it back to her.
She is so imaginative and creative and at the same time very practical.
Yes. Yeah. Very practical. She's like wrapping it up in a little bow and she's like sticking all her thoughts in there.
Well, yeah, you can help her to do that if she even needs any help with it. And yeah, when she sends that away, you just ask her how she feels having sent that.
She feels very, very relieved. She feels so much better. She feels like a blank slate, like, she's like ripe to learn new things.
Ooh,
Yeah.
wonderful that she should say that, because we can invite her, we can ask her, is there anything that she would like to invite into her, just to take the place of what was there before.
It's so funny because she's describing like she wants to um like feel good and like not be afraid of things, and I think she's just describing having like confidence, you know.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I like the way that she describes it too. It's like she's taking in like literally what that she's like, I'm taking in feel good. And
Yeah.
yeah, and not being afraid of things. Courage, confidence, those qualities of self. See if we can help her take those in and invite those in from wherever you feel those or see those the most. From you, from role models, from spirit, or whatever you perceive to be the divine. Source of those feelings.
It's so sweet. Like she thinks that I'm her role model.
Yeah. Does that make sense to you?
Kind of, yeah, like she's proud of how, where I've come, or to where I've come. Yeah.
Yeah. I, I think that's really significant. Being able to take in just the pride that she has in you.
Yeah.
I can really see and understand from having spent time with the both of you how the both of you would be so proud of one another. What she has done and for what you've done.
Like when she's as she's better, compared to when I had discovered her, she's a very uh, just like a lighthearted. I feel like now she's back to being a normal, like lighthearted, playful, silly, goofy kid.
Wow.
Yeah.
She's that. So you've noticed the real transformation in her.
Yeah.
So I wonder if we could invite back in, if it's okay with her, the part that was really anxious, giving you that anxious feeling in your heart.
Yeah.
We're going to invite that part in and see if that part notices a difference in this girl.
Okay. Definitely. Yeah.
So you can ask this anxious part, since it sees the change in the girl, and that sense of confusion and hopelessness is just completely transformed. Does this part feel the need to ring the alarm that loud or to work as hard as it was?
No, it feels confident that I can handle it. I think it does because of the work that I just did with the second part.
How does it feel to hear that from this?
Very good, like much better. It feels like a cohesive family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we're going for. Now let's just check with the parts. We can check with the girl first and the anxious part. We want to see, is there anything else that they feel like they need right now? Any questions they have about what just happened? We've experienced for them. And just want to make sure that they feel supported in this.
Mm. No, the second part, the younger part, she wants me to come visit again. That's all. But they don't have any other concerns.
Okay. Does that sound like something that you can commit to?
Sure. Yeah.
Maybe just from an outside perspective, yeah, definitely visiting her a few times this week would be really helpful in terms of helping her to settle into this feeling of comfort and security in her relationship with you.
Yeah.
And it sounds like she's very intuitive in asking for that. She loves the attachment that she has.
Yeah. I can definitely commit to that.
And nothing else that the anxiety part for a second needs?
No, she feels like she's so funny. I think she's probably about like 10. She's older than the second part. And she's like, well, I'm gonna go chill on a beach. Kind of like she's ready to go put on her sunglasses and just go like relax. Yeah.
That's great. Well, yeah, that's what she needs to be doing at 10 years old. Like, kind of hard to take care of this younger part. It's really great to relax. So you can allow those parts to settle back into your body in whatever way feels good and comfortable to you and to them. Just find some boldness. Yes, yes, yes.
Thank you so much, Percy. Oh my goodness, you're a wizard.
Oh, hey, it is my pleasure to do this. It really was a privilege to connect with you as well.
Oh my goodness. When one was saying I want to go to the beach and the other one's like I want a post office, I want to send this in a post office. I'm like, my parts are out of control. Thank you so much.
Hey, you're so welcome. You're feeling good?
Oh yeah. That was so helpful and so much clarity. I mean, it's so helpful. And I would have never, so sometimes when parts arise, I'll try to get some information, but I would have never thought that, just that secondary part that she's fearful of something because she's experienced that fear before. It's so helpful. Thank you.
Right. This is truly my pleasure.
Yeah.
So, I suppose we should say, see you later. And do you have James's?
Yes. Yeah, I'll let them know that we're done with the call.
Okay. Sounds good. I'm not sure where this goes from here, but would be delighted if I ever saw you again. But if not, I do wish you the very best of luck with everything, the move, the relationship, and however it goes. I think your parts were right in saying however it goes, yeah, you'll be able to handle it. You've been through some bigger things before at even younger ages, and you crushed it. So
Thank you. And I have your information in the email, so I'll be in contact for sure. I really found that very helpful. So thank you.
So bad. All right. Okay. Take care of yourself.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Bye.
Do you want to help bring more self-energy to the world? If you'd like to participate in calls or help out with this project in any way, I'd love to hear your ideas. Join the Discord server or contact me at james@liveifs.com. A huge thanks to our audio engineer, Yvonne, for your care and diligence in editing the calls. To every caller for your courage in sharing some of your parts. And to anyone out there getting to know their internal system, keep going. Who knows, that might be the most selfless, helpful thing you can do for others, and you're the only one who can do it. If you'd like to see us reach the largest audience, we must please the almighty suggestion algorithms at iTunes and YouTube. And they don't care about the power of IFS. They're looking for likes and shares and comments, and the sooner the better. Follow the links in the show notes right here in your podcast player to make your wishes known. And now, a minute of meditation. Or if you prefer, pull over. You can do it in 60 seconds. Just click one of those links. They're right there, and give us a like or a 5-star rating. It would really help. If you think this project is helping people, you're helping people by sharing it. Thank you.